Tail Gunner. The song mentions one of the most brutal and most controversial attacks of World War II, the bombing of Dresden. It was a British-American aerial bombing attack on the city of Dresden, the capital of the German state of Saxony during World War II, in 4 different raids in February of 1945. 722 heavy bombers of the British Royal Air Force and 527 of the United States Army Air Forces dropped more than 3,900 tons of high explosive bombs and incendiary devices on the city. The bombing and the resulting firestorm destroyed more than 1,600 acres of the city. An estimate of 25,000 people were killed. After dealing with the horrors of a bombing on the ground, we're taken to the suffering of the airmen, who also risked their lives during such campaigns. There were huge losses of bomber crews during 1942 and 1945. In the lyrics we can read, "Tail End Charlie in the boiling sky." The common nickname for tail gunners originates from Charles Cooper, who was the first rear gunner in the Royal Air Force during World War II. He was nicknamed Tail End Charlie by his crew. The name was quickly given to all rear gunners. The lyrics also read, "The Enola Gay was my last try." The Enola Gay was the name of the bomber that dropped an atomic bomb, and it was dropped on Hiroshima. Like the attack on Dresden, the unleashing of nuclear power on Japan was deemed as an unnecessary massacre by some, while others considered it was the only way to end the war. Bruce Dickinson has stated that the title of the song came from a porno movie, but since he thought it won't be appropriate to write about that, he wrote about the real tail gunners instead. Holy Smoke. Holy Smoke is a religion-mocking song. The song focuses on the greed and hypocrisy of TV preachers. In the song, Jesus realizes that some nasty characters are making a lot of money out of what was originally a free charity and a message of love and tolerance. Many preachers are more interested in saving your souls by taking your money. This Jimmy Reptile mentioned in the song is in fact Jimmy Swaggart, a homophobic Bible TV evangelist who was always advocating for traditional family values. But he was caught with prostitutes in a cheap motel at the time. Swaggart apologized publicly on air, asking for the forgiveness of God and his flock, and believe it or not, that earned him even more followers. No Prayer for the Dying. This is a very introspective song. Although its title may have been inspired by the 1987 film, the lyrics do not deal at all with the storyline. The song deals with the meaning of life, which the song doesn't attempt to answer. Instead, there is an uncharacteristic appeal to God for answers. According to Bruce, this song has the best vocals on the album. Public Enema Number 1. This is another politically motivated song, which seems to be pointing out the enema that the public is getting from the current state of the world. According to Bruce, the song is about the political corruption of the system that only cares about money. It's people talking about the environment and not doing anything about it. It's about rich people who can afford to live well and leave the rest of the world to rot in a cloud of smoke. Fate's Warning. It deals with the power of destiny, the unstoppable force of fate. Are our experiences simply a string of coincidences, or are our lives already laid out for us? A predestined collection of events just waiting for us to live them. The song just tries to make you wonder, on what is the meaning of being alive when you could have died any passing minute. The Assassin. This song is lyrically very similar to Killers, describing the perspective of a hitman as he prepares for the assassination. According to Bruce, here we're trying to get into the head of a hired killer. He doesn't do it for the money, he do it because he likes it, and he's cool, calculating, cold, and sadistic. Run Silent, Run Deep. It is based on the classic novel by Edward L. Beach and the 1958 film starring Clark Gable and Burt Lancaster. This song is about World War II submarine warfare in the Pacific. They engage in this evil struggle without any mercy. Hoaxing You. Hoaxing You represents Adrian Smith's last songwriting contribution to Iron Maiden until his return for the Brave New World album. Some people argue that this song is a continuation of the Charlotte the Harlot saga, and perhaps the strongest evidence for this is the reference to number 22. Like Charlotte the Harlot and 22 Acacia Avenue, this song speaks of a relationship with a woman who is unable or unwilling to reciprocate. According to Bruce, Hoaxing You is a slightly tongue-in-cheek thing. He recalls that he and his wife Patty went looking for a house to buy. The house was inhabited by 3 gay guys. They took a look around the house and saw these huge beams everywhere. One of the guys was obviously into sadomasochism and leather, and in one room they saw these huge industrial hooks screwed into the beams of the house. He said that his mind started to wonder what they could be used for. So he went home and wrote Hoaxing You with this line in mind: all the hooks in the ceiling, that well-hung feeling. Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. In 1989, Iron Maiden were taking a year off from touring and recording. This was the band's first proper break since their formation. Bruce was approached by his publishers, Zomba, to write a song for A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. So he teamed up with his old mate guitarist Janick Gers and recorded the song. Upon hearing the song, Zomba offered Bruce to record a full album, which subsequently became Tattooed Millionaire. The song appears only for a few seconds in the movie, very far back in the mix, in a scene where the main character is walking through a park and sees some girls playing. Steve Harris liked this song so much that he persuaded Bruce not to use it in his solo album and save it for this record. Bruce commented on the song, "Here I tried to sum up what I thought Nightmare on Elm Street movies were really about. It's all about adolescent fear of period pains. That's what I think is deep down. When a young girl first gets her period, she bleeds and it happens at night. And so she's afraid to go to sleep, and it's a very terrifying time for her, sexually as well. And Nightmare on Elm Street targets that fear. The real slaughter in the Freddy movies is when she loses her virginity. That is the rather nasty thought behind it all. But that's what makes those kinds of movies frightening." Mother Russia. Mother Russia is a tribute to Russia and the Russian people, inspired by the imminent collapse of Soviet communism at that time. According to Dickinson, Mother Russia is about the tragedy of a great land which has an incredible history of being overrun and people being massacred for centuries. So the song says, "Wouldn't it be great if Russia could finally get itself together now and live in peace?"